First question.
Okay, so how did you get started in alcohol?
Back in like 7th grade, I want to be like that type of guy, the type of girl that wanted to be out there, and so then I started kicking it with like the cool people, and so all they did was like drink and talk about alcohol and drugs. So then we went to a party, and that's how I started.
How old were you?
Back then I was like 15 or 14.
Were you pressured into drinking alcohol that night, or did you choose?
I just chose to. Yeah.
Did your parents find out?
It took a while. First, they found out when back in like middle school. I was in 8th grade. In the middle of 8th grade, I did crystal at school, and 2 weeks later they caught me. Someone I guess told the teacher, and they called my mom, and then that's how she found out. And then she wanted to pee test me about all drugs, and I said no, and so I just gave up and told her.
And alcohol?
Alcohol, yeah, it was.
How serious?
Like, it was not that serious, but it got to the point that I shouldn't never been doing that, cause I don't know, I just couldn't remember stuff, and I don't know.
And then how did your mom react to when she found out you were doing drugs and drinking?
She started crying, and I don't know, I felt bad, but then I guess my mind didn't care and wanted some more, so I just kept doing it. And I mean, all she did was don't do it again, and she gave me reasons, feedback why to not do it.
But how did smoking and drinking make you feel?
And drinking, I don't know, I just did the feeling too, but not really.
What kind of problems?
Problems at home, they wouldn't let me go out as much, and my mom used to be always yelling at me and all that. And then my sister, they would be since my sister's a straight A student and I used to ditch school, they used to always be on me, and I didn't like that. And they would always compare me to her. They would be oh, why can't you be like her and all that. So I guess, I don't know, I just didn't want to hear that anymore.
Did she ever try to encourage you to stop? Or?
Yeah, she told me a lot of times to stop. That she was you know what, just go get an activity or do it for my brother, because I have a little brother and sister. She's do it for them or do it for my mom, because all the jobs she goes through, and you're spending her money and her time on doing all that.
And then what got to the point where it got too serious and you got involved into the program and stuff like that? And
one time there was there was few times when I started talking back to my mom, and I used to just leave home, and there was the last time I left home, it was for a real long time. It was for almost 3 weeks or 4, and I came back, and I told myself that I couldn't do this to her. The other times when I left home, she would look for me, right? And I wouldn't care, because I knew she was there. She was there looking for me. But then this time, I don't know, it was different, because she wasn't looking for me. I was oh my God, doesn't she care about me anymore? And so then I was why didn't my mom call me or text me? Because she usually does. And then I texted my sister. I was hey, Tanya, that's her name. I was why doesn't my mom call me or anything? She's you know what, she gave up. If you want to come back home, that's all. I met a few people, and they're you know what, you should go back home. There's times when you could have fun the right way, and there's going to be times when you just gotta, do what you have to do, go to school, have a job. And she was the one that told me that, because she was already pregnant. Since that day, I just stopped. And my mom took me to counseling, and I've been clean since then.
How does it feel to be off that?
It feels good, because everything's going right. How I want it to be is going right.
And then how's your relationship with your mom changed?
Oh, it has really changed. She trusts me. She lets me go out. She gives me everything now. And she She stopped telling me, oh, Stephanie, why don't you like this? Is that I chose to get a job, and she was proud of me. Now I'm always telling her everything that's going on in my life, but it's my life. I'm going to do it the right way, because maybe in the future I'm not going to even know you. I'd rather do my own thing than doing what other people are doing, because in the future they ain't going to be there for you. The friends are the people that encourage you not to do it.
When were you introduced to alcohol?
I started drinking when I was 12 because of my uncle's death.
At 5, were people in your family drinking around you?
A lot. They were alcoholics.
Alcoholics? Okay. Why do you think you started?
I think because I got really depressed and I wanted to actually see if alcohol worked. With, like they say that it kind of takes your mind off things. Yeah.
So your family was alcoholics, so they didn't really have any big reaction to it?
No. Only my grandma did. When she found out that I was drinking, she didn't want to really believe it.
And then how did you feel when you heard that your grandma was feeling this way?
Really upset. That's when I would even drink more and not come home. Like, I would come home like 2 in the morning, so she won't be able to see me.
Were you drinking with your friends?
Yeah, and with other people that weren't really my friends. I just hanged around with them.
So, what caused you to continue? Why did you continue even though you knew it was bad?
It kind of got addicting. Like I didn't want to stop at all. I was drinking like in the morning, before I go to school, during school, and after school. So it was like, that's the only thing I would drink and eat, and I didn't want to stop.
So why did you continue even though you knew it was bad?
Because I wanted something that would help me cope with my emotional feelings and all the problems around me.
So you could go back, would you do anything differently, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch that.
So how has your relationship with your family changed after you started drinking?
Some of my uncles were like really mad at me. They would like beat me up because they knew I shouldn't be doing that and I wasn't listening. And with my grandma, like, she really got upset with me. Like, she thought I wasn't gonna change. And my brother, we weren't close anymore because I was getting so much in trouble. I was like going to family parties and blacking out, or I would fight with him, and one time it even led to me trying to stab him.
Did you have any access to other resources, like other resources that would have helped you cope with your, alcohol was your only escape?
Yeah.
How do you feel like you were a role model to your brother?
I don't think I was a role model.
No. Do you have any advice for someone who's going through the same thing that you went through?
Yeah, if there's people that want to help you, let them help you. Take advantage of it, because you will regret it later. You don't think you might at that moment, but you will. It's a long process to recovery, but it's worth it at the end.
Did you ever retaliate?
Like relapse?
Yeah, relapse.
Yeah,
A lot. And how did you cope with that?
I was just like talking to myself and letting myself know that it's part of recovery. You're gonna go back to it, but if you want to get better, you're going to get better. Just think that you are. Just because you fail one time doesn't mean you're not able to do it.
Has your relationship with your brother gotten better? Or do you guys talk?
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, how old are you?
17.
So what would you like to do in the future?
To let my life be sober and live a happy life. Help other kids that go through the same thing. To let them know it's not easy, but it's worth it. You are happy when you drink, but it's a different happy. Because that happy goes away really fast.